What's up? Sorry, guys. I'm silent. I'm putting some posts out and everything. How's everybody doing? We doing well? Sorry, I'm just responding to a couple people. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Uh, Nate's got a couple good calls for, or at least good things to watch for this week. I mean, we have to see how the market acts, and we can't predict the future, but there are a couple nice looking plays. I hope everybody had a good weekend, got away from the screens, and are refreshed and ready to go for tomorrow. I need to make sure I have the right screen on here. We'll have a trading view up tonight because my thinkorswim is down. Yo, what's up, cousin Eddie? Get in there. How you doing, dude? If you want to listen on Stream Voice on the Discord, you can too. It might sound a little more clear. I'm gonna try my best to make this work too, though. But Nate does have a good microphone, so I don't think it'll be a problem. You know, some people have a real quiet microphone, but his is nice. Oh yeah, I'm actually 3 minutes early, which is, for me, that's a miracle. So I don't think anybody was ready for this or expecting this. No one's no one's in here yet. They're probably expecting me to be the usual 10 minutes late. Oh, what's up? Perfect. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, man. Nate's Twitter's at Nate underscore Davis. Well, let me look. Maybe it's not. Hold up. Yeah, at Nate underscore Davis. And I just tagged him in my post I just made too. So he's good stuff and a pastor. So he's actually, really legitimately good dude. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. And can you see my screen? Is that TMC on screen right now? Perfect. Fancy seeing you here, cousin Eddie. Matt, what are the odds, right? TMC. Yep. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, man. Because for some reason, my screen is that TMC on screen. Oh no! I'm echoing. It's the worst. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Same thing for you, man. You can come down. Stream intro. Be my stream intro. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna go here and talk to Nate. It's the worst. There we go. What's up, Nate?
Hello, hello. How are you, man?
Good. How are you, dude?
Good. Good to be here, brother.
So let's see. I need to get our screen back up. I have a few people that showed up. Usually, I'm fashionably late for these by like 5 or 10 minutes. So everybody knows now. They're like, all right, White said he's streaming at 8. We'll be there at 8:05. So we have a few people that showed up early, but we'll be picking up as it goes. But for anybody that doesn't know who you are, could you give us just like a quick rundown, just for the ones that don't follow you? I think most of them know you, but
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm out in Colorado. I am a not actually a full-time trader. Like I totally could be. I make more than enough to do that, but I started trading a couple years ago when I was writing my doctoral dissertation in adolescent psychology and found I was good at it and just kind of kept with it. But my true heart is actually working with young people in the context of a local church. So middle school, high school, college. I'm a teaching pastor. I am on our leadership team. I got 4 kids. We do foster care, so we're obviously very busy. Um, but for me, trading is just a thing. I found like, man, I got a knack for it. Like I love to help people. And I think it's a great vehicle for people to take some empowerment over their own financial futures. Because let's be honest, can't exactly trust the government for that. And yeah, so I kind of stuck with it, and I've had a lot of fun. I've got to make a lot of relationships. Typically, you'll find me over in the real ones or in GMT calling out some option stuff. Um, but just try to be who I am to help people and help them make money as much as I can. But beyond that, to find purpose with that money, because money in and of itself, as you know, It
Hmm.
doesn't satisfy, man. It's a
It's
big
not
empty
enough.
hole.
No, it's not enough. Actually, if you don't have a purpose for it, sometimes you're even more lost. If you have an
Oh my
abundance of
gosh,
it and you
for
don't know what to do.
sure.
Yep. Um, so yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that. That money can work as a vehicle to kind of help you hone in on your passions, right? If you have the money, now you've got time to really focus on what you enjoy. So that's great.
Oh, for sure. Well, like I've shared this with you, and I might as well share with anybody listening. Like my wife and I, outside of our Roth IRAs, we don't keep a dime that we make. We give it all away because my day job, it actually, it pays for all our bills. We got kids, it supports all of us, and we just don't need more than that. And so we give it away to different causes like Compassion International, some stuff we do to our church in the city and globally that we just believe in because man, if we're not helping people, what are we really doing? Right? A Rolex that is a great thing, it's beautiful, but at the end of the day, it's going to go to somebody else when we die. But if I got the opportunity to help make sure some kid doesn't die prematurely, like I'm going to give my money to that.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I agree. I've kind of think I told you a couple things that I had in mind that'd be pretty cool. With an abundance of money. So yep, I'm with you, man. I
Yep,
think helping
for
is
sure.
is what it's all about. Um, so with that in mind, let's talk about what we're gonna bank out this week so we can help people with.
Yeah.
Uh, Lord vengeful. Can you see the comments, Nate, or no?
Where would they be? Are they in this? If they're in the Twitch, I'm not in the Twitch. I'm actually just logged in through the
Okay,
Discord
okay.
right now.
No,
But
it
I'll pull
just.
it up on my
Oh, you're
my
good. No,
phone and I'll
someone.
just mute it so I can see it.
Okay, yeah. Criddle said Nate is a saint, actually. So, um,
Depends if you ask my wife.
right. And everybody else will call me Wyatt right now because there's a big joke with Rodessa and Bullshark. They were calling me White and they started calling me Wyatt, and now everybody calls me Wyatt. So that's not my name, but whatever.
Good to know, Wyatt.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna pull up your screen share if you
Yeah.
have a couple charts. Hold up, let me get that up on the stream. So we can kind of let them know what you're looking at. So you do day trade and swing though, right? You
I
scalp your.
do. So for me, I do both depending on what the market's giving me, right? So there are some days where it's like really great for day trading, and so I
Mm-hmm.
day trade. There are some days where it's really great for not day trading, so I focus on building swing positions for some longer term things that I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So yeah, you do either one, right? That's good. I'm kind of the same. I love having a swing. Like swings are great, dude. When they work out, there's like nothing better. I love them, but when you have to scalp to get by, I do scalp too. So I know do it all too, man. For sure.
For
Even
sure.
even short sometimes.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, look, here's the deal. People hate on shorts, but the reality is there are some markets where shorts, that's what you got to do because it helps balance things out a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't go on this crazy bull run for like 4 years and not have a pullback. So shorts, they're the ones who help balance things out, create a little bit better price action, better equilibrium in the spread of prices. So like I will gladly short when something is very overextended. And in fact, one of the plays I'm going to look at today is something that I'm getting ready to go pretty heavy into a short to.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yep. Okay, well, I'll let you take over, dude. I'll just watch now. What do you got?
Yeah, so I got 7 things that I want to propose to you guys to look at this week in terms of plays that I'm looking at. The first one is this Affirm. So I know many of you guys have been playing this lately. If you guys look at the daily chart here, it is right now pretty close, maybe about 20 bucks off of approaching all-time highs. If you look at it, it had actually some really good breakout happening over here, almost a little cup and handle. Actually, a really big cup and handle if you were to look at it since it first IPO'd. The thing that I'm really eyeing on this one, or actually November 19th, basically 125 to $150 calls. Personally, I'm looking at 130. I like to go a little bit closer to the money because I don't want to lose any kind of stuff on theta decay or anything like that. But the pressure has been absolutely building here. So if you look at it, they had huge volume here coming off some really good earnings. And the volume has actually held up pretty well. I mean, there were a lot of people who sold right here back on September 13th. But
Yeah.
this is one of those plays. I'm like, man, it's not only going to hit all-time high, it is going to go much higher. My actual price target is somewhere up here around the 180s by the end of the year. So I am starting to scale into some of these plays. I think in this next week, we could actually really approach that 148 level. I do not see that being an issue at all.
Yeah.
So that one looks really good to me.
Wasn't their first gap up? Was that because of Amazon news, right?
Yeah. So there was some. Was it Amazon or was it Walmart?
I can't remember. I thought it was Amazon.
Yeah,
Maybe
they had.
One
It
of
could
the
have
two.
been Amazon. So they had a partnership news here, and then some of the speculation. If you search social media, they've actually been looking at some other partnerships maybe being announced here in this next week as well. So some of these finance plays, like they have just been killer in terms of partnerships because the revenue that it adds to these companies, like it'll 1x, 2x, 3x some of their bottom lines. So when you look at it, I mean, they jumped from literally $68 up to more or less like 120, $130. So they almost doubled over the course of a week because of earnings and a partnership announcement.
So they
So
said
more of that is definitely to come.
yeah, the comments said Amazon was first and then Walmart. So actually, we're both right. It's both.
Yeah, there it is. So again, for those who are asking in the chat, I'm looking at the money or just out of the money calls for November and December, mainly because I don't trust the Fed right now. I don't trust the present market. So I want to give myself a little more time to where if I buy in, it dips down, I can average down and not be, too red on it. So that's what I'm looking at for a firm. End of the year, even into next year, if you want to go commons, I could easily see them being double the price that they are right now. Like this is just a massive growth opportunity for those of you guys who are looking for some of that.
Yeah,
So
almost
then,
a Roth play,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's just
Mhm.
such a big growth stock. Yep.
Yeah, so if you got a Roth IRA, which if you don't, you really need to. You're very much behind if you don't, because it's all basically free money without taxes. This is definitely a play that I'd put into a Roth, but I'd manage it carefully. And something to know, Webull now allows you to trade options in your Roth IRA. So if you've got a Roth with Webull, go ahead, buy some leaps for at the money, and I promise you, you will make like 5 to 10 times your money over the next 2 years if you do that.
Sheesh.
But this is not financial advice, so keep that in mind. I'm a pastor. I'm a doctor too, but whatever. So want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk to you guys about weed.
There you
TGC
go. He's a pastor
and
and he's gonna talk to us about
TLRY.
weed.
Yeah. So both these play. So let's look at CGC for a second. As you can see, since February, this thing has been in a constant downtrend. It's had a couple pops here and there.
Yeah, it's pretty bottomed out otherwise, though, right? Oh, I think you muted yourself, Nate. Or did you do that on purpose? Oh, there we go. Can you guys hear Nate okay? No, okay, yeah, it's not. Hold up, let me do something with the. I don't know what's up with the stream voice. Why would I do that? What? Hold on, guys. I'm trying something here. Okay. How about now? Uh-oh. I will go over to. Hey, I'm gonna try general voice here. Hold on, Nate. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Hold up. I don't know what happened with the voice there.
Can you hear me here?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe we were at the limit of that channel. I didn't make that voice channel. So.
Somebody changed the rules to push to talk,
Oh. Ah, okay.
and I couldn't figure out how to push to talk. That's what it was.
It's okay. Let's try it in here. I'm sorry, dude.
No, totally okay. So, like I said, for anybody who missed, I am looking at TLRY and CGC. So obviously you can look at the dailies. CGC, it's come down here to basically a bottom.
Can you
Looking
stream
pretty good.
Can you stream your screen again?
Yeah. I will share my screen.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. Awesome.
Boom, you got it?
I am clicking it now. Let's see. Pop it out and full screen. There we go. Okay.
All right, so look at CGC. We're basically at a bottom here that's lasted basically over a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to TLRY. It's a little bit above where the bottom was back then, but it's still actually got some pretty good support right around this area from back in February, January.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I am in these two plays right now and I'm doing October and November calls at the money is because this week there's a very big vote in the Senate going on. Do you know what it is? Wyatt?
Why? No, I heard a lot of people talking about it though. So I imagine is it a federal type vote or?
It is a federal type vote. They are
Okay.
actually voting to decriminalize marijuana this week.
Oh wow.
And so what the Democrats had done is they actually attached it to this whole infrastructure bill and to the refunding bill. And so in my personal opinion, there is no chance this thing fails. So if marijuana is defunded, which I know there have been talk about this like 4 or 5 months ago, and then it went to the Senate, nothing really happened with it. But if it happens through the Senate, this happens, it basically removes any barrier for marijuana becoming legal in all of the United States, which then allows TLRI, which is an American company, and CGC, which is actually a Canadian company, to have much more opportunity to be able to grow their revenues and their stream in the United States. So I looked to this weed run that happened from basically September, October, all the way up to February of this last year. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
It went from $14 all the way up to 50, 60 for CGC. And then for TLRY, for Tilray, it went from $8 up to 67. So I'm looking at these. I've actually started scaling in this last week into calls at the money for November and October. I definitely plan to be able to add more to these, but for me, we've been waiting on a good weed run to happen. Like obviously these things have happened in the past. I mean, look at this right here.
Yeah,
When the stock first went public, it went $20 all the way up to
the moon.
golly, 300, right? Like we are always looking at somewhere around a 50% move up to 100% move. Obviously, you could scale out whenever you guys want to, but for me, given the time frame I'm giving these with a couple months, given some of the geopolitical things that are happening right now, even with other nations, I'm going like, man, this is a pretty dang safe play.
Yep.
So again, for CGC, TLRY, I'm looking at the money or just out of the money, November and even later October calls, mainly because they got the vote happening this week. So if you're looking for a safe play that you don't really have to babysit, that is definitely one that I would recommend to you.
I like that.
Another one I'm looking at, let's go ahead and switch this out. We're going to go ahead and look at Fisker for a second. So many of you guys know LCID, Lucid.
Oh, yeah.
They had a beautiful week this last week. We are talking a short squeeze, great news, all that kind of stuff going on. Fisker, it didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, it had a couple great days here, some prime pressure, but Democrats, again, they've got the infrastructure bill that's coming up. And then I want to show you guys this as well. Let me go to the weekly. See if I could draw a chart for you guys because it's about to break out of this weekly pattern it's been in for a little bit of time. So if you were to come up to here, you were to come down, follow some of these things, look at where that's at. It's approaching it, right?
Yeah.
If it breaks out of this next week, I mean, you know how these things go, Wyatt. Like, we could be looking at
Wyatt.
21, 24, possibly even $28 over the next few months.
Oh yeah.
And so for me with Fisker, I've actually been starting to accumulate $15 11.19 calls. The reason I'm doing 15 right now, those are just out of the money for where it closed at 1442, somewhere around that range. So I'm looking just out of the money. But if it does what I think it does and goes up to this range here, we're looking at 2, 3, 400% gains on these options plays. So I like those. Those are really good. Again, LCID, that could also be a really good one to look into. But there's a part of me that feels it already had its run. Fisker has not. It's also got a pretty high short interest. If any of you guys want to look it up, great play to look into. And not to mention, in 2022 is when I think they actually start having some deliverables for us. So
don't they
another
have
good one to look
the
at.
Pope Mobile coming at some time too, or no?
The Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, they got the Ocean coming here soon.
Yep. Okay, cool. Yep.
All right, let me walk you guys into my next play. Again, I've focused predominantly on options here.
These are mid caps here, right? Or,
PLTR. I've got some comments for you guys as well.
Okay.
But PLTR, this is one that has actually started getting some mentions lately. Starting to break out of this downtrend here. Kind of happened a little bit, came back down, tested it, bounced back up. I am actually looking at right now $30 calls for the middle of October, so 10.15. Right now it's maybe $1, $1.50, $2 under that. But look at the volume. Volume's been picking up here.
Yep, there's a gap too, a little gap on the daily there, huh?
Yeah, there's a gap here from 29 up to about 31. So I'm looking at that. It's approaching it, right? So it's got like another dollar, but I've seen a lot of people on Twitter on this last weekend. Seen a lot of people on it this last week. So if futures remain strong, if this thing opens up strong, I'm going to be grabbing plenty of 10, 15, $30 calls, which again have the potential to go 1, 2, 300% depending on how this thing runs. Always manage your risk. Don't take that as financial advice. But I would not be surprised if we saw this thing in the next month or two go up to test some all-time highs around $45.
It's got such a strong, like a cult following behind it too, and this is a good ticker.
Well, and that's the other thing. So even if you were to draw like a, just kind of a trend line on the daily here, so you come back here to when it launched, you were to tap it here, and maybe you even wanted to go like some leaps into next year at the money, like even if it continues to follow this trend line. So it obviously bounced up, came back down, hit here back in May, went up, came back down, hit here again in July. If it follows this trend line, like this thing will be at $35 stock come next year. So even if you bought leaps on this thing, you're going to be in some pretty decent profits if you were to buy these things at the money, like easily 100-200%. Looking that far out. So definitely one that's on my watch list. I really like it. I think it's beautiful. Last options play for you guys. This is going to be UPST. I freaking hate this stock.
That was a monster. I don't know. Man, it was going nuts, wasn't it?
Yeah, this thing. I mean, obviously, so you look at it, it went from 114 back here from its last earnings at the beginning of August all the way up to 345. So you're looking at almost like 200% gains over the course of a month. That's absurd. Just straight up.
Look at the RSI.
For you to look at it, it is so overextended. The RSI on the daily chilling very much above where it is. So what I'm looking to do tomorrow is actually start scaling into 350 puts. So the next level of support I see for it is right here around 260. If you were to go on the, where are we at? We're at the daily. So obviously this range looks pretty strong support, kind of hung out around here for a little bit. I imagine it's going to come back down in the next week or two and test this. So my goal is to begin adding at the money puts for November. So that'd be somewhere right around 320, 315. Again, if it comes back down, test my thesis, you're looking at 400 or 500% gains on this.
Yeah.
So I like this one now. And again, here's why I really like it even more. Look at the volume,
Mm-hmm.
declining volume. It's been going up on less volume, which means if you've read VPA, it's not exactly an authentic move.
Yeah,
Now it
it's an
has been
anomaly.
consolidated here,
Yeah.
but the VPA tells you it's probably going to come down here and test this again. And if it can't hold, it's definitely going to come back down to this range to test here around 180, 200. But I'm trying to be a little bit safer in taking my puts around at the money range, thinking that this could be a strong area because there was a lot of buying volume in here, and those people are probably not going to want to lose a lot of money, so they might buy the dip, as it were.
Yeah. Now, do you use the clouds as an area for bounce too, generally, or not really?
Generally speaking, I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
so. Look, if you were to play these calls
Yep.
all this whole way up, look what it would have done for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then your
These are the
bigger
Ripster EMA
pullbacks.
clouds, by the way, for anybody who's looking. You can get them on TOS, Webull, and TradingView.
Yep. Yep.
But like all these plays, so look at Affirm, same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
There's
You
your
could have played
dips.
this all the way up. This right here held the whole time. CGC, if you were short,
Oh yeah.
it would have held the whole way. Same for Fisker, held. PLTR, it's held it, might come and test it, but it bounces back up.
Yep.
So with these clouds, what you want to do, if you're playing them, and they're working the daily, the 10-minute, whatever it is you're looking at, you want to wait for it to break with conviction. So right here, my rule of thumb is this: it's got to break for 2 bars. So on the daily, if I were to buy Tilray right here, I'd be at a loss right now.
Yeah.
But if I waited 2 bars, I'd have seen like, oh, not a good play. You go to the 10 minutes, same thing. Like, so if I were to switch it over to the 10, obviously I got to make this a little bit bigger because it's not intuitive to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're waiting for confirmation for sure, right? I mean,
Oh,
yeah, just like,
100% you need it. But like, so
yeah.
look right here. What? I don't even know what just happened there. But you look at this, broke above for a 2 bar, came right back down. Broke above, came right back down. So if you waited for 2 and it came up here, that's your conviction to go long. But it never did. So obviously this would have been a good short play all day. I entered down here for my calls for the next week. So
Okay.
I waited till the end of the day to do that.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, last one for the watch list. TMC. In the chat, how many of you guys lost money on this one this last week?
Yeah, let's see. Anybody played TMC last week? I didn't touch it because I kind of know better now when they're spready like this and someone mentions it. No, Lord Vengeful. Plus, I think a lot of people watch him play large caps. Let's see. Lord Vengeful said, not me. Everybody used to, yep. Cousin Eddie lost $0 last week on that ticker. Okay, that's.
So this is one for me. I'm really intrigued in right now. So I played it from here up to here. Tried to catch a bounce here. Ended up losing a few grand on it. Played a bounce actually on Friday. Made 10%, which is cool. And then re-entered. So you're looking from the top up here, $15 all the way to 5.
Oof.
That's a 66% drop
Yeah.
on no fundamental news, no technical analysis, no anything. This is nothing but a short attack happening. Now, whenever I see this, what I know is this is eventually in the next week or two, this thing may bounce back up to somewhere around this range right here.
Yeah.
Somewhere from 7, 9, maybe $10. So I actually took a pretty heavy position at 535 on Friday, expecting a bounce up to here. Now, if you were to draw out the fibs, you'd see like it'd probably need that as well. But SOAC, pre-SPAC, right? Pre the whole merger, pre-going public, that whole thing. This thing traded the 9 up to the $12 range. So it is very much undervalued right now. So I added that purely a spec play, purely on the bounce, purely on the short interest, which if you were to look it up is ridiculously high right now. I mean, there's a lot of false information, both long and short on this, but I very much like the play, especially my entries. I mean, I'm looking at the low 5s right now. I have a feeling that this could be easily 100% play on the commons for me over the next week or two.
Yep. Yeah. Then shorts will be tripping over each other to cover, you know. Right, they're in their
Well,
heads.
and
Yep.
honestly, if that happens, I would be much more looking towards like a $20 price target
Yep.
if a short cover happens. But we got to wait for the right news to happen. But to be honest, I'm not going to hold many of my shares past this range right here
Hmm.
because that's all I'm looking for. If I get 40 to 50% on a play, I'm happy. I'm not trying to YOLO my account into anything right now. I've only got about 10,000 shares in this. I'm fine.
Yeah. Let some freebies roll out or something. If do
Exactly.
that. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Nice. I think someone had a question about the clouds again, but I think you were saying you're basically waiting for two candles to close above or below, right, for confirmation.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the third candle, so I want to see what two do, and the third one is my confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I mean it's the same thing. Like even if you were to go to the 1 minute and not even use clouds, like let's take VWAP as an example. One candle on 1 minute breaks above VWAP. Guess what? That could be a fake out. It could dip right back down. I always want to wait for the confirmation and the retest to tell me this is actually momentum and this is something moving in the direction I want it to move in.
Oh yeah, that I like playing like PM high breaks, and I usually tend to do the same thing. If it breaks that
Mm-hmm.
level, I need some, I need confirmation above it because a lot of times that's where shorts wait and stuff it too. So
Exactly. And I just don't want to get caught in that. I'd rather get caught in a squeeze or I'd rather miss a 10-cent move than get caught in the 20-cent drop.
right, exactly. Yep. Nice. So anybody have any questions about those tickers? I think you covered them pretty in depth. Um, I have a little different list, but same idea. A couple I'm looking at for fundamental slash news cycle, and the others I'm looking at just for the chart.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see him, dude.
okay, here I'm gonna pop this out of here. I have Pfizer on watch more for the fact that they're trying to pass um, the vaccine for the 5 to 11-year-olds. I think they're the ones who are trying to get in. The chart looks kind of to me, and sometimes when they get approval, it's sell the news with them. So I'm treading lightly, but I could see some sort of run up as it gets more talk about it. It's just
Oh,
that
dude, I
one.
totally forgot Moderna, by the way.
Oh yeah, mRNA is one you told me too. Yeah, see, so we're thinking vaccine plays, right? Here, you want me to pull it up or you? I got it.
Yeah, so for me, I pulled it up on mine.
Okay.
Moderna, this is one I actually entered into some calls before close this last week. If you want to pull it up on mine on the daily,
Gotcha. There you go.
I will see if I can. I don't even know what I did to click the drawing last time. So right here, you're looking at a cup and handle forming perfectly on the daily.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh. So you see this, right? You got your cup, you got your handle. Now, obviously, there's some sell-off Friday. Not too worried about that. But Moderna, this one is looking strong to go back and actually break 500, in my opinion. And so this week, I am going to be grabbing at the money calls. So 430, 435. I'm going to load up a lot of different ones. I really, and I did this actually last week too. I did the 425 or 450s, and they went like 400%, which is super nice to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
make that.
Yeah.
But every time, like, look at this. They have a big candle. The next day, they almost have a really big green candle that at least tests the highs. So right here, that'd be 456. Right. So if you enter on any kind of a morning flush tomorrow, you very much have the odds in your favor to make 200% on a call. Now, I'm not saying 100% you will because obviously you got some days like these, but again, this is after a big overextension, pulled back, consolidated, came up, pulled back a little bit, consolidated. I really see this thing going 500, maybe even 550 before the end of the year. So if you want to get leaps at the money, relatively, they're pretty cheap here right now. That is one I'm looking at. Pfizer, also, it's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Pfizer, I think, actually has the benefit of getting the approval for the kids' vaccine before Moderna does,
Yeah.
which could put them a little bit ahead. But from what I'm hearing, Moderna is actually the one that a lot more people enjoy taking.
Mm-hmm.
And so they might be better. Now, again, I don't like the Moderna management. Bancel is a total tool. He's been selling his stocks the whole ride up, which tells me this guy may not actually believe in the company long term because they don't have anything beyond the COVID vaccine. But Pfizer, they've got a whole deep catalog of products they're working on. So Pfizer, if you're looking to go long in terms of commons, they may be a better one. But if you're looking to scalp options, I think Moderna is definitely your better bet.
Yep. 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 Yeah, that's the thing. Pfizer's chart doesn't look quite as good either. So, but
No, it doesn't.
That's more.
But then again, Pfizer has not yet had that big Moderna breakout.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's what I'm
So
thinking.
that's the other thing. If you want to look at it and say, okay, there's a chart that needs that kind of breakout. Pfizer is the one, but it's going to be much more of a risky lotto than say Moderna is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That was kind of my lowest confidence one on the on the list. So I like OCGN the way the daily's setting up on that. I don't know if you play that one a whole lot or
I have. I'm not right now though.
yeah. I just like how it's getting a lot tighter here. It's coming back to the same. It's actually making higher lows now on the daily, but it's getting tighter and tighter here.
And it's a whole lot cheaper too than the other ones
Oh yeah,
we
yeah. When they're
mentioned.
this cheap, I just play commons. You know, under $10 or $20, I'll just play commons. But I mean, it's got. I have it charted on Thinkorswim, but I don't have Thinkorswim up. But I mean, it's coming to a decision point here again. You know, where we're gonna have a nice move potentially this week. And this has been, well, CGN's been money if you can catch it low sevens or sixes for a swing every time to 8 or 9. You know, look at it for the last since June. You know, since I had that giant run and gap down, it's been a pretty easy, 25% swing over and over. And now I see it.
One, honestly, they're right above that volume shelf too, which I think, if they get any kind of news soon, look at your volume profile there right to the right. I mean, it gets less and less. Like, I would not see them, like, I could easily see them getting up to, what is that, like 11, 12 again?
Yep, yep. I got 1150 is the next, right above here. No problem. Yep. Such a good play. We played this quite a bit on that first run. It was fun, and I'm waiting for them to release some sort of news again. Just to get a nice pop out of it again. So I
Now,
think, you know.
who did they have partnership news with? I thought they did.
Let me see. Fearless might know because he. Let's see if he's in the chat. Thanks, Jay Licious, for the sub, by the way. Let's see. I remember they had a lot of news in India, and I know they were backed by financial backing by someone, but I can't remember. Hopefully he's listening. Let's see. But I remember they had pretty good news, and there was very little worry about dilution with them, which was nice.
Yeah, they got cash.
Mm-hmm. So it was another reason I like it. It's like, okay, if it may have a red day, but it's not going to pull an ITRM and gap down.
No, luckily I sold all of that before the news.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's see. OCGN? You cousin Eddie, love OCGN. I don't know. I don't know about the partnership, and I don't see. You know anything about that, cousin Eddie? PFE with OTC level flow. Oh yeah, they do have a crazy flow. So anyways, that's my small cap watch. But if Fearless chimes in, we'll be. Well, no, you like the chart. Really easy to trade. Yeah, that's right, cousin Eddie. It is definitely an easy, easy swing money maker. I like Boeing a lot too. I don't know if you day trade that one
Yep.
or ever swing it, but it
I've been playing options on it a lot lately.
Okay, yeah, so it kind of broke out of that, what would you call it, a falling wedge, or looks like a
Yep.
wedge-ish here. And now it's kind of coming up here and bouncing off this same resistance it had before, 221.50-ish area. But it looks like it's starting to flag up here. So I'm kind of watching.
But if it breaks that though, like I would not
Oh yeah.
be surprised to see it run up to 240.
Oh yeah. That's
This
what
is
I'm
another
thinking.
one of those where I think leaps are going to be really profitable on it.
Yep, I actually had for like a mid-term price target right between 230 and 240. This volume area right here, where I kind of thought I saw it. If we can break over this level here and move, so I'm watching this closely. Again, that's could be you could definitely scalp this. It has enough range usually to scalp and day trade. Plus, I'm thinking for a swing.
Yep. One,
AMD.
especially as they get Delta under control.
Oh yeah,
Like
people
this
can
thing
travel
will go
again.
back. Like pull
Yep.
up the weekly on BA,
Yeah.
just so everyone can see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Logic posted this one earlier. It looks even better. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Look at
Yeah.
that.
And my wedge looks even better on that too, doesn't it? But look at that trend line break. We're out of there, man.
It's a beautiful chart at this point.
Yep. So yeah, like you said,
And
two
you
two
got
thirty.
some pretty big gaps up there to fill
Yeah.
once COVID stuff. So if you guys are not day traders and you're more swing traders, Boeing is definitely one to just throw in your Roth IRA and let it sit and grind for the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, because you've got a pretty big gap up to you know 300 area. I mean, that hard after
Yep.
the harsh sell off. Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
and a lot of the sell off, honestly, right now that we've had with bad news, is just people not placing orders, but that's more due to COVID than anything else. So as soon as COVID turns around and airlines are strong again, like Boeing is in a really good position because people need planes, and Boeing is the best plane manufacturer out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So I see short and long term. There's a lot of money to make on this one.
There
Yep.
is.
AMD is one I just like trading every day. Um,
Yeah, I made some good money on that Friday.
yeah, yeah, it was nice, and it posted an inside day, which is always
Uh
nice
huh.
too. And we've got this upper trend line. If we want to, look at that for a breakout potentially, we've got a couple touches on it. So my levels are pretty tight on it to where I can, break down under basically 104.75 or 67 ish, and a breakout above this trend line. So
Well, I think honestly, AMD is going to hit all time highs by the end of the year,
oh yeah, I'm
personally.
I'm super bullish on it by the end of the year. I'm gonna day trade it. This is kind of my open play. I play this. I don't normally play anything else at open but this. So I play this right at open, and then throughout the
Buy
days.
the dips.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and AMD is one of those ones that has a really good like volume and volatility in terms of options,
Oh yeah.
especially like as it gets more towards zero DTE. Like I think, what did I trade Friday? I bought them like at the money or just outside of the money on the big dip on open at like 225, and I think I sold them up like 100%.
Oh yeah. It moves so nicely. They're
20
they're
minutes later.
they're super liquid, and their contract prices are cheap. So if you don't have a large account, you can still play and make good money. Or if you do have a large account, you can just buy bigger size orders. You can say, hey,
Yep.
I want to grab a few hundred contracts. You can scale in and scale out, as opposed to something like Tesla where you can buy maybe just a few contracts, and then your scaling's a little different. This you can scale more aggressively on AMD. I like it. Um,
Yeah.
a couple people are asking me about your spy strategy. So actually, one,
Dude, these
two.
are these are probably my real ones, friends. So I love to scalp zero DTE spy contracts.
Oh, I love it. It's fun, dude. But what's this? What's the strategy behind it?
Dude, honestly, I gotta be real with everyone watching. There is no strategy outside of like I know the personality of spy and key bounce levels.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I've watched it enough on expiration date to know this is where spy likes to bounce or this is where spy likes to reject.
Okay.
And with those zero DTE options, like you could buy, golly, what was it like a week ago? I bought 100 at like $50 a contract. So it was like what, 5 grand, something like that, minus commissions.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran up 650% in
Oh yeah.
25 minutes.
Yeah, they're nice. The zero DT are very very nice. I love doing that with
Yeah, but
Spy.
it's honestly it's one of those things though. Like if you don't have money to waste, if you don't know the personality of the option,
Mm-mm. Yeah, you're gonna lose your
don't
butt
touch it.
quick. Yeah.
You will lose your lunch because I've had days where I've lost like 10 grand playing that stuff. Uh, but then I've had days where I've made like 80,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just one of those things. Like my strategy is this: key resistance, key support, and also pay attention to really the volume. So great example. Let me pull up the daily on SPY here for a second. And if you want to pull this up, that'd be fine on mine.
I'm gonna get your screen. Do you pay attention to news too when you're playing Spy, or you just ignore the noise?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah. So let's go back to September 20th. That was a 0 DTE day, if I recall. Look at that volume.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So here's what I knew. This was the big gap down on the China news with Evergrande.
Yep.
I knew going into close that half of this volume was shorts.
Yeah.
I did. Like if you were to zoom out, you'd be like, dude, the last day it had that kind of volume was back in July, and then again back in June, right? All around the same time.
They're just taking advantage of the bad news, shorts piling in. Yep.
Absolutely. So you go here, all these really, really big red days. What I knew is people were going to pile in, they were going to short SPY, and if they knew everything else that had happened in the past is that SPY had always bounced right back up when it's hit that for the last several years, right? You follow this chart. Look at that thing. Goes down, rips back up.
Trades in a channel.
Right back up.
Yeah.
So I knew any of these guys who went short were going to want to cover. And so when it dipped down here below this EMA cloud, I loaded the crap out of daily 0 DTE calls at the money. I was like, dude, if I'm wrong and it breaks down, big deal, whatever, I lose. I even called it actually with some guys I chat with on Real Ones. I said, this is what I'm doing. And guess what happened? 25 minutes later, 650% up.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Because it was into close, it was the last hour, and all of these guys knew they needed to close because look what happened. If they stayed short, yeah, they maybe could have covered right here. But if they didn't, all of them are deeply underwater here. I mean, you're talking like, what is this, like $10 per share you shorted that you're at a loss? And these shorts, they're not stupid. Like everybody wants to talk about them as being these dumb bears. They're not dumb bears. They're actually brilliant. They're smart. They take advantage of a moment and they said, we're going to close out here, which is why this thing has such a long lower wick. I mean, you're talking about like an $8 wick right here. Something like that.
I think it rallied like crazy at the end of that day, if I remember. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it ran up like $4 or $5.
Yeah, just nasty.
It went from here all the way to here. So actually, it's closer to $8 is what it ran.
Nutty.
So my only strategy is this: is like know the personality of a stock, and I know SPY pretty well. You see it here, same thing. See it down here. You see it right here. Keep going back. Whenever it taps these clouds, especially when it taps this green one right here, it is going to bounce back with the vengeance, up and over.
And if it doesn't,
like, look at this.
If it doesn't, you have bigger problems.
Exactly. And eventually, here's what I know. SPY eventually will crash.
Mm-hmm.
It will have a pullback down to this 400, 410 area. Like, that's coming. But as long as the Fed keeps propping this thing up, it will continue to go up. It might test, like 480, 490. But eventually a correction is going to come. But that's not going to happen until tapering actually begins.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This chart is absolutely insane.
You know what? Yeah, that chart. My favorite daily chart, though, is Crocs. Still. I have to be honest. I don't know if you ever look at it, but it'll change your whole outlook on Crocs, man. Just look at the CROX chart sometime.
Hold up, let's look at it.
That's a Roth play, man, and I'm not even kidding. Check it out. Crocs does not care about filling gaps. Like when it rips up, it doesn't come back to test them.
Well, that was like SAM for a while there too.
Yeah.
Sam Adams.
Oh yeah, it looks identical to SPY. Look at crash in March of 20, straight up since then. I don't know if you see it on the Twitch stream or you want me to. I can put it in voice.
Yeah, I got the Twitch stream pulled up. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. I'm telling everybody, I'm like, dude, this is a Roth play almost. This is crazy.
Dude, honestly, I look at that chart and I go, looking at that volume profile,
Hmm.
that would be a good one to get short on soon.
Oh yeah, whenever it's ready, dude. Oh, there's a long ways down if it does go down. Problem is, dude, every time they have earnings, they just rip even more. It's like they crush
I don't know
everything.
who's wearing those things, man. But
I got I got a pair
it's
on.
volume profile. Like the big thing is down at 40. That's what's insane to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, over the last year, dude, look at that. Look at that node right there. 36 something. Yep. It spent forever there. I mean, it's just insanity. I don't know what took it or what was the catalyst to break out and go to $160. You know, it just hit the ground running, and I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm like, dang, talk about a chart that I missed forever. I think that covers everything I had. Oh, I talked to you before stream about Snap, but I didn't mention it on stream. But we can be pretty quick on that. This basically for me was just a all-time high break play. Broke on Friday. I want to see if it comes back and either retests the previous high or if it just keeps ripping. Um, and it'll be probably a day trade for me. I don't think I'll swing anything on it. Um, were you playing this on this on Friday at all or no? Snap.
I was not. I know Bull Shark was, and some others were. But I was a little more focused on Affirm and AMD and mRNA. But I like the chart. So for those of you guys watching, here's the thing about an all-time high break. Typically, when ATH breaks, the thing has the potential to go up another 20 to 50%.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at like
Typically.
fib
So you look
levels.
at the chart and you go, man, this thing needs a pullback. You are absolutely right, but you would be absolutely stupid to try to time that.
Oh yeah.
Wait for it to pull back and to confirm that it's pulling back, then you can go short side. But right now, dude, like great example, UPST. That's what I've been trying to do. Like I lost a lot of money trying to time that pullback on UPST,
Trying to
but I
time
didn't
that
do it.
short, dude. It's
But
tough.
I
Yeah.
think we're ready. I think we're ready for the pullback. And Snap, I think, could be a very similar story to UPSC where it's like, hey, it might have 2 to 3 more weeks of a run before it pulls back.
Mm-hmm. Insanity. So I'll play it. I'll play it every day. I don't know if I'll swing anything on it, but I'll definitely be day trading this. And like I said,
Yeah, and I don't know what Snap's cash position is right now, but I would not be surprised if they're hitting all-time highs if they try to raise capital anytime soon. And if
mm-hmm.
they do, I mean, you see that little gap they got right there. It'll be ugly once it turns ugly, but until then, it's going to be a cash cow.
Oh yeah, yeah. They've got a gap. Like back down to like 69. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hey, 69. We like that number.
Yeah. Is that Wish?
Wish.
Is this Wish? Is this Wish or Snap? Hold up.
Hey, by the way, I have been accumulating a lot of Wish leaps at these prices at the money.
Oh, it's so cheap. Yeah, so cheap.
I've got well over 100 leaps right now.
Nice. Yep. Just
Well, it's one of those ones. There for end of 2022, all the restructuring should be done. That's another play that will bounce back. It just, again, when the mob mentality happens, it runs really well for a little bit. Like, great example, CEI, DATS. They
mm-hmm.
run great, but the moment it stops, when you've got that much retail in a play and it stops working for them,
They
it
sell.
sells off like crazy. So
Yep.
DATS, CEI, those are two that I would not be surprised if in the next 2 weeks we see a 50% pay cut from where it is right now.
Yep. Yeah. Because the weak the weaker hands or the retail that are waiting for the quick money, they see a drop and they're out. I'm out. And
Yeah,
no
because
market sell.
retail, like the hedge funds, they're not selling, they're
Mm-mm.
holding, they're loading up, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody else, they sell, they drop their ass, bids drop. That's what drives the price down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Uh-huh. And let's see if I got. Do I have any questions in the chat? By the way, because we kicked butt. We covered everything. Did it in less than an hour, which was what I was hoping we do. Um, yeah, like you said with the CEI and a lot of the retail crowded plays, man. When the backside comes, it comes fast.
It
And
comes way quicker.
that's where a lot of like the other Nate, Investors Underground. That dude's made a killing from just that. He's so good at catching the backside of those plays.
Yep.
He's anytime I see him mention something, I'm like, oh crap, I don't even want to look. Like what died. I don't know. Do you actually follow him or keep up with him at all? Or
I do.
yeah,
Dude, he's one of the best educators out there.
yep. Oh yeah, especially on the short side. It's
And if you guys aren't watching his Sunday night scans, you need to be. There's actually a new one that came out today.
yep.
He basically walks through, here's what I saw last week, here's what I'm looking at this next week. It's not as good as actually being in his room because he does daily things there as well and walks you through live. But man, they are just killer. You got
Yep.
to pay attention to what Investors Live is doing.
Yeah, I watch him. I watched it earlier actually. Yep. Mhm. It is like invaluable information because the dude he's a sniper. When it comes to
He's very good.
yeah, yeah. And nobody goes against that like the grain on him. Like, yep, okay, Nate said so. I'm not touching it. Do you grab?
Okay, so
Yeah.
perfect. You had a question for me. How do I approach trading as somebody who's got a doctorate in psychology? Honestly, man, the best thing is this is like know yourself, know your emotions, know other people, and know their emotions as well. And the biggest thing is this like, man, you got to approach trading without any kind of physical attachment to what you're doing. Like that's the best advice I can give you because if a play isn't working, cut it. Or if you've got conviction, add to it. But hope is never the thing that should drive the thing that you're doing when it comes to actual capital you have on the line. You've got to be able to look at this thing analytically and say, okay, I've got a plan. I'm going to execute my plan. If my plan doesn't work out, I'm going to cut it because it's a bad plan. Right? And that's what a lot of people don't do. So, great example. People are mentioned in Wish in here, and part of that's because I got leaps in it. A lot of people are very down on Wish right now because they couldn't attach or detach rather their emotions from the play that they were making. Same thing is true for TMC, right? A lot of people down 50% right now because they couldn't look at a chart and say, I'm going to cut my losses, I'm going to re enter later. In terms of books that I'd recommend, psychologically, I mean, biggest one is this it's Trading in the Zone by Douglas.
Yeah, Mark
That's
Douglas.
a fantastic book. He actually talks a lot about psychology, of how your psychology and your personal approach to trading is the thing that's going to make or break you as a trader. Like that's it. So that's the best book. That's the best thing I'd tell you.
I got that on audiobook. Even if I'm going through a tough patch, I'll listen to it again to just reinforce things. Yep.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a good question. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever have to go back and listen to that too?
Yeah, I got a couple books. I've got that. I've got the what is it? The Diary of a Stock Operator. I forget exactly what it's called. Let me look it
Oh
up. I
yeah,
got it at
it's like an old
my
school book,
Audible.
right? Yep.
It is. It is. It's a reminiscence of a stock operator. So
Yep.
it's the story of Jesse Livermore.
Yep.
That's one I love to listen to because again, he was one of those guys who was like, "Man, I am just going to learn how people work and operate, and I'm going to trade off of that."
Yeah.
So,
He didn't have charts or anything, just human emotion. That was it.
well, it's human emotions, but he also used a lot of level two,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
Understanding those
basically
numbers.
reading the tape.
Yep.
But for you guys, like one of the things I'd say too, just if you're looking for a good play to ever figure out the backside of, look at what everybody is hyped on and get ready to go short on it. So
Mm-hmm.
again, another great example, CEI. Everybody is to the moon on this thing right now.
Yeah. It's
What
already
that
up
tells you is
150%.
everybody has a lot of emotions, there's a lot of greed, and the moment that this thing stops working out for it, you're going to have a ridiculous amount of panic selling. And as somebody who could play the short side, you could take advantage of that. I'm not saying it will go terribly. I'm not at all. But if it does, that's where when you know the human psychology of greed and of emotion and of just the inability to look objectively at a chart or at a ticker, you can take advantage of that.
Yep. Yep. 100%. And then after the short's done and the
Go
play looks
long.
dead, yeah, grab some more and wait for it to come back because I
Dude,
noticed.
that's what I did with TMC.
Yep.
I like, look, this thing is beat to hell right now. I bought a lot on Friday. I think I told you 10,000 shares. I mean, that's not a lot, but for some of those listening, it might be a lot.
That's good
But I'm
amount for.
scaling in
Yep.
pretty heavy and saying, like, hey, I'm going to wait for this thing to go because long term, the fundamentals are good, but fear is the name of the game right now. So I'm going to buy the fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you notice, a lot of the small caps, what I notice is their charts all look the same. They go up, they come back down to a zone, they consolidate there, they go back up again. So it's like, ride the wave. That's it. If it's ready to short it, and then when it comes back to that level, go ahead and grab your shares. And if you're patient, you might have to wait a little bit for it to get that pop again, but it's gonna come back. It'll get that pop again. It's so wild, you know.
It is, and I'm looking at futures right now, and they're actually looking pretty bullish.
Yes, let's have a great week. Bitcoin's coming back
Yep.
up to 44,000 too, so not even trying
Yeah,
to get people to.
Bitcoin is not what I'm playing at the moment. I have no interest just because of how manipulated the thing is
Oh
at the
yeah.
moment with China dropping all their crap. But like, I think we're gonna have a lot of great opportunities this next week.
hmm We're gonna have a good week. Are you gonna
We are.
uh, are you gonna come in the Discord with some of your? You said you're gonna drop some option plays too in there, right? And it's
Yeah.
only
So
so you leave a few for
Friday,
me.
I was dropping them Friday. Things I was scalping. So I posted a lot of my zero DTE things in there, and there's some people who banked with me, anywhere from 50 to 150%, which is super cool.
Yep.
And then I'm posting them all there as well. So I'm making that a habit now. So anybody in GMT, keep an eye out on the what is it, the options main floor.
Yep.
Some great traders who are in there, like Rodessa. Obviously Wyatt's posting a lot of really good ones.
Why?
Uh, I'm telling you, man, I'm not gonna forget that. Uh, but I'm gonna post them there for you guys. Pay attention. I post a lot on Twitter. I'm over in the real ones as well. I do a lot of voice stuff over there with them. Uh, because
Yep.
those
Oh
guys
yeah,
are my
Bull Shark.
homies.
Bull Shark's got great stuff. Logic. Yep.
Yeah, me and
Cousin Eddie.
me and
Yep.
Bull Shark, we typically text every day things we're looking at, and we try to uh, encourage and root one another on. But yeah, I basically GMT and Rio ones are my homes. I do Twitter as well. I don't post as many risky plays on there. I try to do safe ones on there because I don't want anyone to get screwed and then come at me because people are weird.
Because that's
Uh,
Twitter. Yeah.
but risky ones know this. At the end of the day, I am actually not a full time trader. I'm a pastor, doctor of psychology, who's had a lot of success, but I am not a financial advisor. So always know your own risk, manage your risk, take ownership of your future because nobody else will.
Yeah. Exactly. So when do you relax? Perfect says. 4 hours a night. That's it.
Dude, honestly, I sleep about 5 to 6. That's about it.
There it is.
I get up at 3 a.m. Colorado time.
Nice. With the oil price target 90. Nice. That's sweet, dude. Well, hey, thank you. I appreciate you coming on, dude, and talking with me tonight.
Absolutely, man.
Um,
Uh, Somebody wanted us to talk about AMC really quick.
oh yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts, dude? Or are you looking at it from a technical standpoint?
So I've been playing AMC a lot lately, scalping calls. To be honest, I really think AMC is going to test all time highs again in the next few months.
Uh-oh, they call it the MOAS, right? The MOAS, the mother of all squeezes, or no, mother of all short squeezes, the MOAS. Yep.
Yeah, and like here's the deal with AMC. Like I don't I don't think it's going to be as insane of a squeeze as we saw last time because I played the last one, right? I was in AMC at $2 in my Roth IRA. I had a bunch of calls and all that kind of stuff. I made a lot of money on it,
Mm-hmm.
but AMC is still one of those ones where when I look at the daily, like I'm like, man, like it kind of looks like it might be forming a cup and handle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to pull it up, like so
I got it here. Or
the
let's yeah.
the
So
the big thing that I want to see on AMC is can it reverse here? If it does, it actually might break all-time highs. So I'll say this for everybody listening, there is nothing fundamental about this company driving it at all.
Which
Like
means
AMC should be a $15 to $20 stock. Right now, it's a $40 stock. Cool. It's already very above. But I'm looking at the amount of shorts who are in this thing. I'm looking at some of the bullish flow that Unusual Whales is putting out. Like the big level for it to break, honestly, is about 60, 62. If it can do that, this thing has room up to 80, 90, which is insane when you think about it. You're like,
yeah.
AMC, are you freaking kidding me?
Well, I like
But
a GameStop
as
too.
you look at it, like on the daily, dude, it's forming that cup and handle. It's starting to base here right now on the handle. If it could base here in the, I don't know, 38 to $41 range and start moving back up, like we're going to see a really nice move on AMC.
Be crazy. That's just
Yep.
insanity. Hey, I'll play
It's
it
absurd.
if it starts doing that again. I'll play it again. But oh man,
Yep.
insane.
Yeah, so don't play weeklies on it unless there's this really strong directional flow.
Oh yeah,
But
you
if you're
get
looking
burned.
for something just to keep an eye on over the next end of the year, into the beginning of next year, AMC is definitely one that can pay pretty well if you're strategic about your entries.
Get you some shares so you get the free popcorn, right?
Yep, free popcorn, baby. And I think Adam, their CEO, he had been tweeting about wanting to get into some crypto stuff for
Yeah,
them. Now,
Dogecoin
honestly,
possibly. Yeah.
Dogecoin, I'm like, bro, dude, no one cares about Doge. What are you doing? Like, what? It's gonna pay 100 Doge to go see a movie?
It's gonna just
Uh,
be the memes, bro. It's just you get all the memes together, and I don't know.
but on a side note, that actually worries me a little bit because whenever a CEO starts like engaging way too much with retail,
Oh
so AHT, like it's
yeah.
never a
Yeah.
good thing. And VISL, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
But CEI has been doing that lately. They're posting things like weekly for retail investors saying this is what we're doing, this is why. It's like, man, like that's always concerning. And Fappy, if you guys follow Fappy, he's a great follower or a great trader, great guy to follow. Uh, like he's always said, dude, whenever they do this, run for the hills. So that's my only hang up on AMC right now is that Adam is talking a little bit too much to retail, but it is what it is, man. There's a bunch of apes who love it.
Yeah. Yep. That's gonna be part of it too. Is the apes with the diamond hands? They hold a lot better than most of retail. Apes hold a little better.
I'll tell you what though, the apes, they're richer than most. I'll
Oh,
just throw it
dude.
out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're doing okay. Oh man. All right. Sweet. Well, that covers it. Someone said, "What are the essential elements of a swing for you?" Uh, I guess it's probably asking you. Is that more when you look at a swing? Are you basically TA with just knowing that the company has cash on hand to kind of ease
So
your
there's
into that?
there's some TA that comes into that, like cash in hand, what's your PE, that kind of stuff. But I'm also looking at catalysts,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yep.
So what's coming up in the future? What are the things you're working on, right? So let me go back to TMC for a second here. TMC is a play that got hyped up, social media took it over, got beat up, all that kind of crap. But it's still one for a swing I really like, especially at these levels, because I'm looking at it going like, well, they got a lot of catalysts they're working on. When you look at some of the bills that are coming out, when you look at some of the shortages that are happening right now with some of the things necessary to make EV batteries, when you look at the future and some of the funding that's going to happen from the federal government for these types of companies, I'm like, man, like this is a really safe swing, especially at these levels. So I try to take in
Sweet.
TA and FA. If you're just doing like a day trade, TA doesn't matter at all. Like it doesn't. People tell you it does, it really doesn't. Uh, they're all about momentum. But if you're looking to swing, look at technical analysis. That's how everybody on UPST made a crap ton of money when that thing was down around $100 because they looked at it. They said the PE, we're looking at the money coming in, we're looking at their growth opportunities. We're going to invest in that. Even though it was a day trade, UPST a couple months ago, it looked terrible. That thing was in a downtrend. But anybody looking at it from a swing perspective said this thing is going to be a gold mine. And you know what? They were right.
Yeah. I think.
So for a swing trade, you've got to almost look at the things that aren't running and say, okay, what has the potential for the future, for growth, for earnings, for revenue, for news? That's what matters.
Yeah, I love when they're consolidating really tightly too, Because the longer they do that, it seems like the more explosive the move ends up being, right? When it actually does go, like UPST,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Like, so for me, like, let's take DATS. DATS right now is not a stock I would swing at all. I will day trade it, but
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
not swing it. Now, I was in it from its IPO day down around 350, uh, and I sold out of it a while ago, and I've played it a few times since then. But DATS, like when you look at their company, when you look at their fundamentals, they're not trying to actually do anything that's proprietary,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they're not. Every other company that's tried to do what they're doing has been shut down by the federal government because the feds have said we can't have that kind of security on chats. Like we can't. Like it's a danger to national security. And so if you're looking strictly TA, you go, ooh, that's not a good one. If you're looking fundamental analysis, you're like, that's not a good one to go in long term either. Like, don't throw that in your Roth. Put it in your day trading account, trade it, right? As long as Momo's there, play it. But like long term, that is not what I'm looking at versus like a BA, right? You were talking about BA a little bit earlier, Boeing.
Yep.
That's one when you look at the daily, you look at the fundamentals, that's a really good one for a swing because it actually has the potential and the probability of continuing to go up for a long period of time.
Oh yeah, it's got a history of being way higher than it already is too. You know, there's so
Absolutely.
and there's nothing's changed with the company other than COVID. So it's like it
Exactly.
should all come back at some point. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah, great. Thank you, dude. All right, I suppose I'll cut it off. I usually try to go about an hour, so we're there. Um,
Perfect.
Thank you everybody for coming on and watching. Thank you, Nate, for coming on, dude. I
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
appreciate your time,
Glad we
dude.
made it work.
Yeah, me too, me too. And this will be recorded for anybody who didn't catch it all. And I'll usually the watch lists I do put on YouTube, and I leave it for a couple days. I don't want to leave it long because you come back next week and look at my watch list. This is for
You
this week.
suck.
Yeah, yeah. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, so yeah,
Well,
it'll be up
and
there
for
for a
everybody,
few days.
like when I'm talking watch list, like I'm looking at tomorrow, and if it works out, I play it, and it could work out great tomorrow, and then suck later in the week. I don't care. I'm mainly looking for a Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my watch list.
Yep. Basically, how I do it is like what I'm going to play tomorrow, and then what might unravel sometime in the next couple days, right? Like
Yep.
we mentioned, those CGNs getting really tight. Like that's going to make a move. If not tomorrow, the next day. Yeah, I'm looking soon. Soon. Yep. Cool.
Bingo.
Sweet man. Well, thank you so much. I'll end the stream here, and then I'll just say see you to the air. I'll come say bye in the chat here too, everybody. I'll see all you guys tomorrow evening after we kill it in the market. Thank you again so much, and thank you for all the gifted subs. I couldn't even keep up with it when they were coming through, but thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, later.